According to the 2017 Stony Brook University article entitled "Origin of the Modern Dog as a Single Geographic Origin Study Reveals," modern domestic dogs all descended from a small group of wolves thousands of years ago, and this is all backed by DNA evidence. That means every breed of dog, every type, big, small, they all come from the same wolves. Now, wolves are predators and eat mostly exotic meats like venison and bison and other wild meats. Using that logic, it seems reasonable to look for food for our descendants of the wolf that has a lot of wild meat like venison and bison and no grain. So grain-free dog food manufacturers use that logic and concentrate on meats that are often exotic and attempt to remove grains like wheat, barley, and corn that you find in normal dog foods and replace them with reasonably protein-rich vegetables. You can find grain-free foods pretty much everywhere, claiming huge benefits. Makes perfect sense, right? Not so much as one might think. Research suggests that some modern dog foods, especially grain-free foods, can lead to heart problems and potentially early death in some mostly large breeds due to the lack of ingredients that produce the amino acid taurine, along with the inclusion of some specific vegetables that researchers believe can limit taurine production or absorption. Hi, my name is Brian Curry, and I'm co-owner of Texas TLC Goldens along with my lovely wife, Terry. We're a small breeder of golden retrievers based in the Central Texas Hill Country. In this talk, I will describe for you the science and reasoning behind the current belief that grain-free dog foods, in many cases, can lead to a possibly fatal heart condition called dilated cardiomyopathy. I will also detail what dilated cardiomyopathy is, what taurine is, and how it's created. So let's start with this golden retrievers and why they're important. The UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine in the July 2018 article entitled "UC Davis Investigates Link Between Dog Diets and Deadly Heart Disease," Dr. John Stern, who's a veterinary cardiologist and geneticist at UC Davis, noticed a large uptick in cases of reversible dilated cardiomyopathy in golden retrievers. Now, we should start with what is reversible. That just means it's diet related. It means it is not genetic related. And it very likely is caused by diet and may be reversible by diet in some cases. So many dogs breeds are prone to the genetic form of the disease. Golden retrievers are not. Dr. Stern was not the first scientist to find the uptick, but he was the first one to make the correlation between food instead of genetics. Common diet for affected golden retrievers was grain-free foods. He determined that of all the dogs that were affected, they were eating grain-free foods or vegetarian diets. The FDA is now involved and agrees with the UC Davis initial conclusions, and they've launched a full-blown study on the issue to try and get to root cause. It'll take a while to get to it, but they've issued their own warnings on the same subject. Okay, so let's talk about dilated cardiomyopathy. On the left, you see a normal heart. On the right, you see an affected heart. This graphic was provided by staff members of the medical gallery of Blosson Medical and at Texas A&M University in an undated article on the university website titled "Dilated Cardiomyopathy" tells us that dilated cardiomyopathy is a heart condition generally characterized by thinning muscle walls and enlarging at least one ventricle of the heart, usually the left. So the enlarged cavity along with weaker muscles in the heart walls can lead to heart murmurs, heart attack, or congestive heart failure. So what is taurine? The Morris Animal Foundation's 2017 article entitled "Researchers Getting Closer to Understanding Dietary Taurine and Heart Disease in Dogs" says that, well, taurine is a diet-related amino acid. Amino acid is a protein-based building block that the body uses to do a lot of its internal business. Taurine can be in the food directly. It can be put in as a supplement. They actually have powdered and liquid supplements you can put in the food. It also is naturally occurring in some very few foods. More often than not, it's manufactured by the dog itself. However, the dog will need common building block amino acids. They're reasonably common. They're present in many foods, but not all. Exotic meats. So, according to Dr. Lisa Freeman, in the 2018 Tufts University article titled "A Broken Heart: Risk of Heart Disease in Boutique or Grain-Free Diets and Exotic Ingredients," she says that most exotic meats don't contain enough of the necessary building blocks to assist in taurine levels in dogs. Examples of this include bison, venison, which is deer, kangaroo, to a lesser extent lamb, rabbit, just about any other wild food that you can think of. At this point, the evidence is mostly circumstantial, but there's a strong correlation and it bears paying attention to. So vegetables are a much more interesting subject. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration in the 2018 article titled "FDA Investigating Potential Connection Between Diet and Cases of Canine Heart Disease," they say that of the dogs that were part of the sudden uptick in reversible DCM, the common unique food ingredients were peas, pulses, which are legume seeds, legumes, lentils, and root vegetables of many varieties. Quantities of these vegetables were also considered enough to be considered main ingredients. Okay, so which breeds are affected so far? I'll let you read the list, but the important takeout here is that this is just the list of breeds that have been identified. They have not eliminated any breed. So take that as you will. They may add more breeds in here later. In my opinion, everyone who owns a dog should be listening to this. And this is also according to that same U.S. Food and Drug Administration article. So in conclusion, earlier on I said that research suggests that some modern dog foods, especially grain-free foods, can lead to heart problems and potentially early death in some larger breeds because of the lack of enough quantities of ingredients to produce the amino acid taurine. To support this, I showed that studies in several veterinarians noticed a large uptick in cases of reversible DCM in dogs that are not prone to the genetic variety of the disease. And they noticed that the common variable in all cases was a steady diet of grain-free foods. It's believed that the amino acid taurine is central to the issue. The FDA agrees and is conducting a more detailed study to confirm or deny that conclusion. I also said that the inclusion of some specific vegetables that researchers believe can limit taurine production or absorption. I then showed that grain-free foods typically replace grains with peas, legumes, and potatoes, and a variety of other vegetables, and do so in large quantities. It's believed that these ingredients either slow absorption of taurine or prevent its natural production, but that has not yet been confirmed. They just know that they're involved. In closing, I'd like to charge you with two things. Take no chances with your pet. You love your pet. I love mine. If you have a large breed dog or one of the identified breeds, or really any dog for that matter, research your dog food ingredients carefully, or better yet, stick with a large manufacturer of dog foods with good quality controls, and choose a high-end version of their food and make sure it's not labeled grain-free. Second, follow the UC Davis and FDA progress in their studies and find out the confirmed root cause when they eventually arrive at it. That's all I have for today. Thank you much for your time and attention. Enjoy and love your dogs.